Nitro saw an unusual start going on the air with Ric Flair, Animal and Nash already out in the middle of the opening segment promo, with Nash looking to take out Flair just as the rest of the group arrived to the building, with Nash holding them off, taking Flair hostage to make him book several matches with Cat in charge for the night, including putting Scott Steiner in 3 matches tonight, with the first one against 4 cruiserweights coming up next, followed by the second one against Dallas Page and the third one in the main event against Nash for the title, with Flair's CEO position on the line. And with no official news for the sale of the company since the press conference announcing the deal almost a month ago on January 11th, the latest date for the sale from Time Warner to Fusion Media Ventures now talked about is February 28th. With Eric Bischoff for an unknown reason not backstage at Nitro on the night after mostly being in charge in TV days for the past month, with speculation of the expected WCW relaunch date continuing during the week after the company officially announced the cancellation of the scheduled April pay-per-view, including giving up the 5 arena bookings for the 5 Monday nights in April for Nitro and Thunder's TV tapings, while hyping the May 6th pay-per-view event as the big return show, with the talk of going off the air for a month after the last show on March 26th and then start a big marketing campaign to relaunch the new WCW brand on the May 6th pay-per-view, with all the major stars returning together on the night to kick off the new era. Nitro closed out the first hour with the Steiner brothers in 2 separate singles matches, first with Rick against Shane Douglas going 6 minutes, with Rick going over to win the US title, followed by Scott against Page in the first official match between them since their shoot fight on December 18th, which saw Steiner taking Page down and almost taking his eye out before security and the locker room interfered to pull them apart, with the company, unlike most previous instances of using real-life situations to push TV storylines and worked shoot angles, not acknowledging the Steiner-Page fight on TV, with them going 4 minutes to end with Steiner taking out the referee before Page hit a cutter for the finish and Kane made his return to attack him in the crowd, with the match ending seconds after 9 p.m. just as Raw went on the air, with the first opposed quarter after a commercial break mostly featuring Chavo Guerrero against Rey Mysterio in disguise, and a match going 7 minutes to open the hour with a 2.3 rating. Two days after the XFL debut, Raw, coming in front of 25,000 people from the Georgia Dome, was looking to keep the momentum going, with Vince McMahon, after turning the WWF into part of pop culture as one of the biggest powerhouses on television in the latest boom period, having one of the biggest days of his career on Saturday night, with the XFL drawing record-breaking numbers on its highly hyped NBC debut broadcast to put McMahon on top of both the sports and entertainment worlds in one of the biggest highlights of his career, with Raw kicking off with a Chris Jericho vs Matt Hardy IC title match going 5 minutes, which saw the Radicals interfering to set up the return of Eddie Guerrero. Nitro dropped to a show low 1.8 rating in the second quarter between 9:15 to 9:30, mainly due to the big promo segment taking place on Raw head-to-head, featuring O'Haire and Palumbo against Awesome and Storm in a tag match going 8 minutes, while at the same time Rock bumped Raw over 1.2 million viewers, along with the Atlanta crowd responding to last Thursday's SmackDown main event, which saw Triple H being added to the match to make it a 3-way with Angle during the show, calling him out while also addressing Austin interfering for the finish to continue the build-up to the match. bringing out Hunter for the response, followed by Kurt Angle saying that neither of them is gonna face him, with a WrestleMania main event now booked as Angle vs Austin for the title, with Vince out next before being stopped by Rock telling him to give him a quick answer as he doesn't want to hear another 20-minute tirade, ending up with Vince booking a Rock and Angle vs Austin and Hunter tag match for the main event, with Raw jumping from the lower than usual 3.9 opening segment to a 4.8 rating in the second quarter. Both shows increased slightly in the third quarter, with Nitro going to a 1.9 rating for Buff Bagwell vs Bryan Adams, while Raw went to a 4.9 rating for the finish of the promo segment, followed by Edge and Christian against Kaientai going 5 minutes, and with the WWF last week heavily hyping last Thursday as SmackDown Extreme to counter one of the most competitive nights of television of the year. SmackDown took a hit to a 4 rating, with 6.4 million viewers going against several debuting reality series and sitcoms combined, drawing over 32 rating head-to-head, with JR noting that the Extreme SmackDown tagline to the show was a UPN marketing idea to counter the NBC and CBS competition going on at the same time. The Nash vs Steiner main event saw Nash picking Rick as his partner to face Scott, with Ric Flair's CEO position on the line, going 5 minutes to end, with Rick turning heel on Nash to reunite the Steiner brothers, with him now also holding the 2 top single titles in the company as the World and US champions, with the match picking up over 600,000 viewers to a head-to-head show high 2.3 rating, which was also the show average overall, with the combined wrestling audience on the night down from last week's month's high but still above the slow start to the year, averaging over 8.8 million viewers between 9 to 10 p.m. Raw had a backstage segment with Vince on the phone indirectly responding to critics of the XFL product in a phone call, saying that critics can go to hell as he only cares if the fans liked it, bragging about the strong ratings, noting that they did a 10.5 rating on NBC and a 4.5 on UPN, with Raw's second top match of the night saw Undertaker and Kane against the Dudleys for the tag titles, coming out at 9:56 p.m. for the crossover segment against the Nitro finish into the unopposed quarter, going 8 minutes, with Edge and Christian interfering for the DQ finish, attempting to take out Taker, with the match bumping Raw over 1.1 million viewers to the joint peak of the night 5.7 rating. With ECW looking more likely to shut down by the week, including the company notifying its syndicated TV show stations that the show is currently on hiatus for the foreseeable future, and featured stars like Just Incredible Jerry Lynn and Rhino being openly offered contracts by the WWF, Jim Ross opened the door publicly for the first time for Paul Heyman to join the company if ECW is either sold or shutting down, saying that he will welcome him if he makes the decision, while also addressing talks of the WWF storylines becoming more stagnant and by the book lately as compared with the innovative never-seen-before WWF TV product that built the peak audience of the boom period over the past 3 years, saying that he agrees that they need to reshuffle the deck and become more creative and unpredictable with storylines, which they're currently trying to do. With Raw's second hour building up to the main event seeing a Rock and Angle backstage segment with Angle suggesting they work together to beat Austin and Hunter, followed by Rock hyping the eventual Rock vs Angle pay-per-view title rematch, saying that the countdown is on with Angle's days as WWF champion coming to an end. After the huge buzz generated for the league for the past year, including a massive advertising campaign on multiple high-profile networks on the way to Saturday, the XFL NBC debut broadcast on February 3 surpassed even high expectations, drawing a huge 9.5 rating with over 15.6 million viewers, the most watched show on television on the night for any genre, with the league in its opening weekend drawing a combined attendance of over 120,000 people to the stadiums, putting Vince McMahon in the mainstream spotlight perhaps more than at any point in his career as the promoter with the Midas touch, with the goal now to sustain a decent percentage of the massive audience who tuned in first due to the hype and curiosity of the first week, as the debut broadcast of the XFL from Las Vegas went on the air with Rock opening it to cut a promo hyping the league. And as numbers showed a day later, it was clear that the hype led to a lot of the wrestling audience to sample it, with NBC announcing in a press release that the young adult demo rating, which the WWF dominated in, was the highest on a Saturday night in 11 years. Raw's big star power tag match with the expected double main event of the No Way Out pay-per-view teaming against each other started seconds from 11 p.m. to go 7 minutes into the overrun, with the match seeing a clear layout to avoid any interaction between Rock and Austin, with them instead facing Angle and Hunter when tagged into the match, ending up with Big Show interfering to take out Rock, with Austin distracting Hunter for Angle to go over, picking up over 1 million viewers to peak at a 5.7 rating.